everybody, it's Miss Legge. Today we're going to talk about two-step equations. So in the past, you've probably worked one-step equations, which means to solve for x or to solve for your variable, you had one thing to do. Today we're going to kind of level up or try something a little bit more complicated with two-step equations. So instead of having one thing to do, you have two, okay? Now our goal is still the same. It hasn't changed. Our number one goal is to get the variable by itself or get it alone. Okay, so to get the variable by itself, we have a couple of steps to follow. I've kind of listed them here. They're going to stay here the whole time. It may help you guys to write them down and maybe check them off as we go, okay? So step one, always start on the side with the variable. Step two, we're going to undo addition and subtraction. Step three, we're going to undo multiplication and division. So instead of having just undoing one thing, we're going to undo two, okay? Now, when you see an equation, we always want to separate, okay, your two sides. Equation means it's equal. So what I do to one side, I have to do to the other, okay? Now, we need to locate or start on the side with our variable. So on this case, I'm looking at my left side. Okay, so here's my x. I want to get it by itself. There's stuff surrounding it, stuck to it, near it, around it. We want it alone. So it's kind of like if you go through a maze, you can't just run through the bushes or the hedges. You have to figure out the best path to get there. So to do that, okay, we've located it, and now we're going to do inverse operation or undo addition and subtraction. So inverse means opposite. So the opposite of adding is subtracting. The opposite of subtracting is adding. So here, I am adding 10. Okay, right now I'm not looking at x, I'm just looking at plus 10. The opposite of plus 10 is going to be minus 10. And it's an equation, so I do it on both sides. Okay, so what ends up happening is 10 minus 10 is 0. So it cancels, and I'm left with 5. I'm going to bring it down, okay? I like to draw an arrow, okay? And I bring it down. Now, on my right side, I do the exact same thing. So 25 minus 10 is going to be 15. Bring down that equal sign. Now, I have rewritten my problem. I located my variable. I got rid of adding and subtracting, and now I have a one-step equation. So I did one step, and now I have one step left, okay? So 5x equals 15. 5x is the same thing as saying 5 times x, and the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by whatever is smushed up or stuck to my variable. So 5 is stuck to my variable, so I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides, okay? Now, 5 divided by 5 is 1. Okay, so that leaves me with 1x equals, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. So x equals 3. Now, say you're like, whew, I don't know if I did that right, or you're a little worried, you think you did it wrong. You can always plug back in your answer into your original problem. So for example, if I plug 3 back in here, this is saying 5 times 3 plus 10, 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 10 is 25. Because these match, I know my work is correct, okay? So if you're not sure, you can always plug your final answer back in your original problem, okay? Let's look at another example. Okay, this one's a little bit different, okay? It's got a couple more negative signs in it, and that is okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, draw my line down my middle. The next thing I'm going to look is there any adding or subtracting? There is. Minus 12, okay? What's the opposite of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add 12 to both sides, okay? Now, negative 12 plus 12, put in your calculator, you're going to get 0, so it cancels. Okay, bring down your negative 3y. In class, I say this all the time. I say, okay, are the negative signs important? And your response should be, yes, yes, they are. The negative signs are so important. They're going to make or break your problem, okay? Okay, do your right side. 21 plus 12. 21 plus 12 is 33. bring down your equal sign. So we've gone from a two-step equation to a one-step equation, okay? As we work it, we bring our stuff down. As we work it, we are simplifying what needs to be done. Okay, look at my left side. Look at your variable, negative 3y. This is the exact same thing as saying negative 3 times y. Times is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide, okay, on both sides. That is a division bar, okay? When we divide by whatever is smushed up against our y, okay, which in this case is negative 3. Not just 3, negative 3, okay? So we're going to divide by negative 3 on both sides. Now, the reason we do this is because on my left side, okay, negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1 or 1y, okay? And 33 divided by negative 3 is negative 11. So y equals negative 11. Okay, this one looks a little different, okay? And the major reason it looks different is because up at the top here, you will see that the order has been kind of flip-flopped. And I'm going to show you it's the same problem, and we can still work it out. It just looks a little different, okay? So I'm going to draw a line through my equal sign. Now, we undo addition and subtraction first. This right here, even though it's second, is still multiplication. So that comes after. Okay, so we want to get rid of this 4 first. Now, there's no sign on it. So if there's no sign, it's an understood positive. Okay, so the opposite of positive 4 is going to be minus 4 on both sides. So 4 minus 4 is 0. I'm going to bring down minus 2x equals, and on the right side, I have negative 16 minus 4. Well, put this in your calculator. Put this in your calculator, okay? People are making common mistakes because they forget the negative signs. Don't be that person. So, negative 16 minus 4 is negative 20, okay? So, we have started on the side with the variable. We undid addition and subtraction, and now we're going to undo multiplication division. This is negative 2 times x. So, to undo multiplication, I'm going to divide. Okay, I'm going to write my division bar. When I divide by whatever is smushed up against my x. Okay, so negative 2, divide by negative 2. These are going to cancel and give me x. Okay, and negative 20 divided by negative 2 is going to be positive 10. Okay. If you're not sure, remember you can go back and plug it all back in to see what works. Okay, this one looks a little different, okay? We're about to talk about why. So, normal procedures. Again, treat it like normal. Draw a line down the middle of your problem. Draw a line in the middle of your problem, okay? Locate your x. Find your variable. It's on my left side here. Negative x divided by 2 minus 6 equals 10. Negative x divided by 2 minus 6 equals 10. Okay, undo addition and subtraction first. So I want to get rid of this minus 10. To undo minus 10, undo minus 6, I'm going to do plus 6 on both sides. So on my left side, it cancels. And on my right side, I have 16. I'm going to bring everything else down. I didn't change anything else. So I'm going to bring it down exactly. Okay, oops, that looks kind of weird. Negative x over 2. Okay, now, this one's a little bit different because instead of it being multiplication, this is x over 2, which is x divided by 2. Now, to undo division, we need to go backwards and do multiplication. Okay, so we're going to multiply by what we divided by. We're dividing by 2, so we're going to multiply by 2. Okay, so these cancel, and I'm left with, now this is important, I'm left with negative x equals 32. negative x equals 32. Okay, now this one's kind of funky because you really don't want to leave a negative with your x. So to get rid of it, remember there's an imaginary 1 here, so I'm going to divide by negative 1 on both sides. Okay, these cancel, so I'm left with x equals negative 32. Okay, that one was kind of different because it had a negative sign at the very end. Okay, again, this one's a little different. It's got decimals in it. Okay? So first things first, I'm going to draw a line down the middle of my problem, okay? And then I'm going to locate my variable. My variable here is an m, okay? So I'm going to start with an m. Now, m is on the left side of my problem, so I need to get rid of everything else on the left side except for the m. To do that, I'm going to undo addition and subtraction first, okay? So right here, this is minus 4.9. So to undo it, I'm going to do plus 4.9 on both sides. Okay, now you're going to hear this a bunch, and you're going to get really tired of Miss Legge saying this, but plug your numbers into your calculator. There is no reason for your numbers to be the wrong numbers, okay? The reason I say that is because these cancel, but right here, negative 7.11, plus 4.9 is going to give me negative 2.21. Ms. Legge, why did you say it a bunch of times? The reason I'm saying it over and over again, okay, is because those negative signs make or break your problem. Okay, because in this situation, they were different signs, so you subtract and keep the sign of the larger number, okay? But what if you had accidentally added them, then you would have had a totally different decimal number. So be careful and use your button on your calculator, okay? That's what it's there for. Okay, over here, I'm going to bring down m over 2.8. Okay, m is not quite by itself yet, so we want to undo whatever's being done to it. This is the same thing as saying m over 2.8 is m divided by 2.8. To undo division, we're going to multiply. So we're going to multiply by 2.8. These cancel, okay, because anything divided by itself is 1, and it leaves me with 1 m or just m, okay? 2.8 divided by 2.8 is 1m, okay? And then I'm going to multiply by 2.9 on the side, so negative, don't forget it, negative 2.21 times 2.8 is going to give me negative 6.188, okay? Okay, a couple of things to remember before we're done with this video. The first thing is pay attention to where your negative signs are, okay? Pay attention, plug in your calculator. Your calculator is there for a reason. It is a helpful tool. Use it, okay? The other thing is remember to follow the steps. So undo, there it goes, undo addition and subtraction, and then undo multiplication and division, okay? And the last thing is don't let problems freak you out, okay? This is a simple math problem. The majority of this can be put in your calculator. Just because it's got a decimal doesn't mean it's hard, okay? Just because the m, it looks like a fraction doesn't mean it's hard. You guys have got this. You are so smart. You are so capable. If you have any questions, remember, you have multiple attempts on your assignment. That means that if you mess up something, you can go back and fix it later, okay? And also, if you have any questions and you really can't figure it out, that is your opportunity. Reach out to your teacher and let them know, okay? I hope this helped, and y'all have a wonderful day.